ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वन्त्रये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्रीमहाविष्णवे नमः। स्वस्थ भारत की है वजह जग में अपनी सेवाएं,
हर जगह हम विश्व में दिखते हैं चारों दिशाएं।
जख्मों पे रखते हैं हम जब स्नेह भरा मरहम, बढ़ते हैं अपनी तरफ विश्वास के लाखों कदम। सारी दुनिया में देखो लहराए आज अपना परचम। IDNA 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 IDNA। कुछ वर्ष पहले हम सबको दूसरों का था आसरा, फार्मा और ड्रग की दुनिया में हम अब है तीसरा।
हमें देश पे और देश को अब हम पे नाज है, हिंदुस्तान का इसलिए दुनिया पे राज है।
आ जाए जो देश में कोई विपदा की घड़ी, IDNA हरदम तेरे पीछे है खड़ी। सबकी आशाएं सबकी उम्मीदें अब हमसे है जुड़ी। IDNA 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 IDNA।
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. We will begin our program with the blessings of the Almighty, and we'll request our Honorable Minister, sir, to please come up and light the lamp. May I request Madam Aparna to please join us in lighting the lamp. President, sir, if you can please escort the guests. Dr. Mandeep Bhandari, if you can kindly come up, and Dr. Somani. Yeah. Mr. Pankaj Patel, will you please join us for lighting of the lamp? Come here, ma'am, please. Are you around? Please. Where's the lamp? and may I now request our President and immediate past President to escort our honored dignitaries on the dais. A big round of applause for our Minister, sir, Madam Aparna. Mandit ji, please come up on the dais. Dr. Somani, may I request immediate past National President Mahesh Doshi to please take your seat. Bharat Shah, our Chairman of the 60th Year Celebrations Committee. Mr. Mehul Shah, our Honorary Secretary, and the man who's worked very hard to put up this show. And before we begin, may I request our President to honor our dignitaries on the dais with flowers. Quick. Go ahead. We'll take it back. Just take them back. Take them back. Yeah, go ahead. So thank you very much. A lot of hard work and homework has been done to put up this wonderful program. After all, 60 years in the life of an association is something to be applauded. It's a great milestone that IDMA has achieved. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our honorable chief guest for this inaugural session, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya, Minister of Health and Family Welfare and Chemicals and Fertilizers. Madam S. Aparna, IAS Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Mandeep Bhandari, IAS Joint Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And Dr. V.G. Somani, Drugs Controller General of India. I have great pleasure in welcoming our National President, Dr. Viranchi Shah, our immediate past National President, Dr. Mr. Mahesh Doshi, our Chairman IDMA Diamond Jubilee Celebrations, Mr. Bharat Shah, our Honorary Secretary, Mr. Mehul Shah, distinguished guests, our former presidents who have contributed not only during their year of presidency, but have been continuously helping us, supporting us, captains of the industry, fellow members of IDMA, learned speakers and moderators, distinguished winners of various IDMA awards, heads of other important associations with whom we have had the privilege of working very closely, our partners, Bain and Company, our knowledge partners, members of the press, our sponsors, our advertisers, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. A lot of new entrants are there in our pharma industry. The young generation is now almost taking over, and they feel happy when I say boys and girls. A very warm welcome to all of you to the 60th IDMA annual celebrations, a milestone in the life of our association. 60 years, friends, of consistent and continuous contribution and support to the pharma industry, enhancing the business opportunities of our members, interaction with the government and more, whilst being customer-centric. What a wonderful feeling, meeting government officials, colleagues, friends of the industry, and all connected with the pharma and health industry in person after almost 2.5 years. And we are so glad everybody just looks the same, or maybe even younger, because nobody moved out of their houses. Everybody was very happy working from home or working from anywhere. And now we are back here. We are glad that the pandemic is finally behind us, but let's not let our guards down. An excellent program has been lined up for all of you. We have 25 speakers, 4 panel discussions, inspiring talks, and fireside chats. So are you all ready for that? Yes. Some people have not had breakfast. Can we hear a loud yes? Yes. That's it. Thank you very much. So we'll also be honoring our stalwart achievers of the pharma industry, and more on this as we go along. The pandemic taught us some hard lessons, but also provided us the opportunity to continue doing our best, even in the hard times. Several webinars were organized in the last 2 years to keep our members abreast of new emerging systems, especially digitalization, telemedicines, health and wellness, and various other important relevant topics. Adversities turned into opportunities. Never before have we seen the extremely close and continuous working together with our Honorable Minister, Honorable Madam Secretary of DOP, our Drugs Controller, officials of the Health Department, officials of FDA, packaging material and API suppliers, our transporters, the police authorities, the AIOCD, and not to forget the coordination between the big 3 of the Indian pharma industry. It's not just the consultants who have the big 5, but pharma industry has the big 3. We have IPA, we have OPPI, and IDMA. It was a thrilling experience working together with government officials, their staff and industry associations, working in tandem 24/7 for the benefit of the patients, not only in our country, but throughout the world. We are extremely thankful to our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, for being an inspiration to all of us. Honorable Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya ji, for his unstinted support and encouragement. Madam S. Aparna, for always guiding us and working closely with all of us. Dr. Mandeep Bhandari, for always being available to us and understanding our issues. And our very popular Drugs Controller General of India, Dr. Venugopal Somani, who is also a friend, philosopher, and guide of the industry. He ensured that whatever we do is patient-centric. Thank you once again for joining us in these celebrations, and a warm welcome once again to all our dignitaries, invitees, and everybody present. Please enjoy the deliberations and the celebrations. And with these few words, I welcome all of you once again. And may I now request our chairman of the 60th year celebrations committee, Mr. Bharat Shah, who is the chairman and managing director of K7 Dilal, to please come up and give us his address. Come, Bharat.
The curtains tried to draw, and mask too held on. But in our dreams was a show that must go on. With this ambition in our heart, we set up upon a path, stumbled at times, and even roadblocked. Yet, we kept on working hard and hard. Now, as I stand on this stage, I am thankful to each one of you to be a part of our show, to make our dreams come true. Respected Minister of Health and Family Welfare and Chemical and Fertilizer of India, Dr. Mansukh Bhai, other dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and very warm welcome to ITMA's Diamond Jubilee celebration. We are grateful for having you grace this occasion with your presence and to be a part of ITMA's 60th year celebration. I vividly remember first meeting on 23rd June 2021 when the core team got together to kickstart the preparation for this mega event. 2021 being a VUCA year, as we know, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, anxiety, it was a year of VUCA. We too had our share of anxieties, uncertainties, and dilemma. Whether will this event take place? And here we are on day one. A day that will showcase India's resilience, India's transformation, and India becoming a future-ready Atmanirbhar Bharat. This event follows ITMA's mission to be knowledge-sharing platform for its 1,000+ member, majority MSME, and collectively strive for the exponential growth of Indian pharma. With this mission in mind, ITMA has launched multiple initiatives over the years to make Indian pharma a global healthcare leader. I cannot thank our distinguished speakers and panelists enough for positively responding to our request to share their experiences, their key learnings, their thoughts on the future of India and our pharma industry. We are fortunate to have stalwart not only from pharma, but also from varied sectors and government bodies to enlighten us on the relevant subjects. It is heartening to see members traveling from across the country to be part of this event. This event has been planned for our members to extract maximum value from varied knowledge session, panel discussion, and fireside chats, and get the inspired for a bright road ahead for our industry. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all our sponsors. Your support and your encouragement have helped ITMA to put up such a grand show, and we are grateful for the same. Lastly, an event of such a scale required many helping hands, and I am thankful to have worked with a team of ever enthusiastic, selfless, and tireless members. Specifically, like to mention Mehul for his all-round contribution. We went through the challenges, uncertainties together and through a problem-solving approach, could resolve and make the event a reality. A big thank you for the core event team and the ITMA secretarial team, as well as Shaheen and her team. I hope I could provide you a glimpse of what the day holds and hope you have an enriching one. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat Bhai, for that very inspiring and acknowledging everybody. Friends, the wonderful committee that we had formed, they are now called the change makers. Not for any other reason, but they kept changing the agenda very often. May I now call upon Mr. Mahesh Doshi, our immediate past national president, to please give us his address. Oh.
Good morning, our distinguished guest, Honorable Minister Sri Mansukh Bhai Mandaviya ji, Madam Aparna ji, IAS Secretary DOP, Dr. Mandeep Singh Bhandari ji, JS Health IAS, and our friend, philosopher and guide of the industry, Dr. Somani ji, DCGI. Dignitaries in the audience and from industries, my seniors, ladies and gentlemen. The Indian pharmaceutical industry has helped our country from being an importer of a pharmaceutical to a net exporter to the world, so much so that when it comes to a pharmaceutical, the world thinks of India. IDMA journey began in the year 1961 through our stalwarts, Dr. Abraham Patani ji. Due to the bad health, he has not attended today's program. Of a Inga Lab, Dr. H.K.A. Hamid of a Sipla, and Mr. A.V. Modi of a Unichem Laboratories. Right from the day one, IDMA campaigned for amending the old patent law, British law model, to allow Indian industry to grow freely without destruction and aberration. Dr. K.M. Parikh and Dr. Patani appeared before Parliament of India in 1963 and again in 1966 to press for this. Ultimately in 1970, with all our stalwarts and leaders' help, patent law was amended. This event paved the way for growth of Indian drug by leaps and bounds, unhindered. Over the next 25 years, then came to WTO impact, and industry had complied with the requirement enforced during the next one decade up to 2005. The Indian pharmaceutical industry is now recognized world over as a pharmacy of the world. And we thank our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi ji, our Honorable Minister, Sri Mansukh Bhai Mandaviya ji, Minister of Health and Family Welfare, and Chemical and Fertilizers. I will tell you a small incident when we have gone first time to meet Honorable Minister at Delhi. That time, before start, he says, please put up your all industry problem. Means after the independence, according to our knowledge, he's the first person who is holding both the ministry, health and the chemical and fertilizers. So pharma is divided between the two ministry. So he says, you must have an experience when one minister has to leave something and other has to gain. So we have a little ego, we can't give. But here in this case, don't worry, from my right pocket to left pocket, I have to give. So absolutely, please be prepared your agenda, be prepared your thing, and come with your detailed representation as far as whatever the help is needed from the government. We are always ready. So thank you very much, Manshuk Bhai. Sir Piyush Goyal ji, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Textile, for giving the industry the much needed trust to complete globally with the signing of a free trade agreement with many countries. The year 2020 and 2021 were the two difficult and a tough year for the pharmaceutical industry due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but also a blessing in disguise. The pharmaceutical industry immediately turned towards the digitalization, and we all learned to work from home and from anywhere. We were trending on a social media and having a web meeting and webinars. Thankfully, we have learned to live with a new normal that we all have experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic throughout this year. I have always believed that team works and work well. I thank for our entire team, consisting my National President, Dr. Viranchi Shah, Bharat Bhai, Mehul Bhai, and all other my committee members and colleagues. My other office bearer, especially Dr. George Patani and Dr. Mehul Shah, our very active state board chairmen, vice chairmen, and member of a various committee, our consultant, advisor, and our staff at head office as well as Delhi office, who rose to the occasion and managed the show in the extremely exemplary manner. No stone was left unturned in supporting our member by making timely representation and intervention at the center as well as the different state level. We have proved to the nation that by close and regular coordination between industry association and ministry, the impossible could be achieved. In this total pandemic period, our morning to evening program was like that. A phone call from the DOP. We are calling to the DCGI. We are calling to the Home Health Ministry. After completing that, we have a coordination between the Sudarshan Jain, IPA, Anand Krishnan, OPPI, and other association. So practically it was a program like that. Once in a day we used to talk, and we were trying to, do a maximum help to industry as well as a smallest problem like a local collector is not allowing to operate the factory. We are simply calling at 11:30 to the DOP and a DCGI. They have a control room immediately in the morning. There is a little, I have a benefit of there was not a language barrier. My previous secretary as well as today's secretary, both were understanding Gujarati very well. So simply he used to say, અરે તમે કહો ને શું પ્રોબ્લેમ છે પ્રોબ્લેમ તમારો સોલ્વ થઈ જશે અને in another 1 or 2 hours we are receiving the phone call, please go and see that if you have any problem. So this was what I mean to say, means I have gone with all my seniors to the Delhi since my affiliation with the IDM is very long. So to Delhi to meet the secretary, HAL, this, that. So you know that time certain protocol, this, that, oh, you have to go to the secretary, speak this, speak that. So when I have taken the charge, I have altogether a reverse experience. So nice cooperation from the ministry, department, everybody. Thank you very much. With regular interaction with the Department of Pharmaceutical, various FDA officials and a state government, the DCGI and is a dedicated team, the CDSCO, the police department, official of AIOCD, and the rest we achieved a great feat. The capacity utilization in our factory rose from a March 25 to 30% during March 2020 to 60 to 80% during a May-June 2020. In fact, some companies touch 100% capacity. We manage this by increasing the availability of a raw material, packing material, and requisite manpower, not to forget the supply chain, distribution channel. IDMA was once again in the prominence as the voice of the national sector, and I thank all the members for their support and cooperation. You all would pleased to know that this was a learning experience for us, how the government official could respond quickly to address the resolved issue in such emergency. I do not want to go into the achievement during my tenure as a president in the last year. It is that work speak and it is all in the public domain, data available. But I firmly believe that somebody asked me, what is your success? Then I say, when you leave the chair with the satisfaction that incumbent team is capable to achieve even a higher laurel of IDMA. And I'm 100% with the confidence there under the leadership of the Viranchi Bhai and my other team is fulfill IDMA's dream and they will take IDMA to the another level. That give me an immense satisfaction that future of IDMA is indeed in the able hand. I take this opportunity to thank all the esteemed speaker, panelists, and moderator of this 2 days long event and wish you all happy deliberation. I congratulate all the various award winners. You deserve this award for your outstanding innovation and remarkable works. I thank all the participants for coming here and making this event a grand success. I also thank the Diamond Jubilee Organizing Committee for organizing such an excellent program with eminent speaker, panelists, and lab. Lastly, I thank our Secretary General, Mr. Dara Patel at the Bombay office, and Mr. Madan at Delhi, and my secretariat, who has worked day and night for all the purpose, and for their support and coordination. I look forward towards meeting and interacting with you all after a period of 2 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mahesh Bhai, for that wonderful address and for thanking all of us. So, Mehul, there will be no vote of thanks now. Well, we now have a man to whom everybody looks up to. He is a PhD, an entrepreneur and a pharmacist. He was the first member to be elected to the position of Senior Vice President in IDMA. He took over as the National President for the year 22-23 in January 22. A PhD in Business Administration, MBA in B.Pharm, a gold medalist. He is also the Chairman of the Pharma and Healthcare Task Force, Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Member of Department of Pharmaceuticals Committee on Reducing Compliance Burden in Pharma, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers. A well-known entrepreneur and a pharmacist, he is the promoter and director of Saga Laboratories. He has very aptly given IDMA its goals and objectives, which are right, that is RITE, regulatory reforms, innovation, team building, and entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to welcome with a round of applause our National President, Dr. Viranchi Shah. Viranchi bhai, please come.
Thank you, Daraji. Respected Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya, Honorable Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizers, Madam S. Aparna, Secretary, Department of Pharma, Government of India, Dr. Mandeep Bhandari, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, Dr. V.G. Somani, the Drug Controller General of India, my colleagues from IDMA, Shri Pankaj Bhai Patel, the eminent entrepreneur, friends from IPA and OPPI, Mr. Sahil Munjal from Pharmaxil, invitees, friends from the industry, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm grateful to all of you for being here today. And I'll just take a few minutes to, we all make a big difference to the world, and we know that, but we have not, made an effort to quantify it. There was a study that was published by Oxford University Press, and they studied the yearly lost lives. There's the premature deaths that occur, and how drugs play an important role in improving the longevity. And this study was published in 2013, and it studied the impact between 1980 and 2030. And the study so reveals that $1 spent after drugs and pharmaceuticals actually translates into $12 of increased GDP for an economy. So that's the impact that is created for spending $1 on drugs and pharmaceuticals. It also stated that the pharmaceuticals add a lot of productive life to the people. And I think that is one of the motto of our industry. We want to add smiles to the faces of people. We want to add years to their life and life to the years they live. So this is a comprehensive effort that India has been doing. We know the numbers, we are number 3, and all these things are in the public domain. But we also understand that we play a major role in bringing this change to the world, in increasing the life expectancy. And in that context, this industry is very important. We are today celebrating the 60 years at the Diamond Jubilee, and diamond actually signifies excellence, sparkle, and prestige. And this institute today exhibits all the 3, excellence, sparkle, and prestige, to India. And we have today become a strategic industry for India. Though it's a moment of nostalgia, looking back with pride what we did, but it's also a moment for all of us to look forward. What we can do in the next 10 years, what we can do in the next 25 years to make this industry from number 3 to number 1. And what are the things as an industry we can take a very wonderful handhold from the regulators and the governments to go forward. The Honorable Prime Minister has set up a goal of reaching a 5 trillion economy by 25-26. I think Indian pharmaceutical industry has a big role to play in that. The Forum of Pharmaceutical Associations, we all understand, and we have set up a target of reaching from 50 billion to 130 billion by 2030 for the Indian pharmaceutical industry. And a lot of things are going positive, and we wish that we reach the target of 130 billion by 2030 and probably by up to 500 billion by 2047 as we have on the India 2047 forum. So a lot of things are going positive. What we are trying to do in the next 2 days, we have a 360-degree debate on all the functions all the important aspects of this industry. We are talking about the API and the Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are talking about disruptions. We are also talking about the formulation industry and the future for the next 10 years. We are talking about the finance and how to use private equity to fuel the growth. We are talking about innovation and research. We have a full platter of things that could give you food for thought. And when you go home, I'm sure some of these thoughts will help you to go further in your journey of life, in your journey of entrepreneurship. At the last, I would like to acknowledge the role of the various presidents and their committees that IDMA has had in the last 60 years for their role in making IDMA what it is today. And also would like to appreciate the role of the government, the regulators, the healthcare providers, doctors and nurses and paramedics, ancillary industries, academic institutes, and all those who have helped make this Indian pharmaceutical industry so vibrant. So I hope for the next 2 days, you will have a lot of new ideas to take home. Wish you a happy engagement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Viranchi. Friends, before we go further, we would like to wish a very happy new year to all our friends, our brothers and sisters, our members from Tamil Nadu. A very, very happy new year to all of you. May I now call upon our former national president, Mr. Deepnath Roy Chaudhary, to please introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Venugopal Somani, Drugs Control General of India. Please come up.
Good morning. A pleasant task, though Dr. Somani doesn't need any introduction as such, but we have to comply with formalities. Dr. V.G. Somani is the Drugs Controller General India since July 2019. Dr. Somani did his M.Pharm and PhD in Pharmaceutical Sciences from Nagpur University, India. Earlier, he worked as Joint Drugs Controller India in CDSCO, heading the divisions of regulation of medical devices and in vitro diagnostics, stem cells and blood products, and new drugs. He has also worked as Joint Drugs Controller India, heading the division of biologics, clinical trials, new drugs, and cosmetics enforcements for several years. Dr. Somani has worked in various capacities, in various zonal offices in Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Delhi, and has also officiated as Drugs Controller General India from November 2011 to February 2012. Dr. Somani has been actively involved in various national and international forums for policy making, training, selections, and providing expert opinion for better regulatory processes. Ladies and gentlemen, I have great pleasure in presenting to you Dr. V.G. Somani, the extremely knowledgeable Regulator-in-Chief of the Pharmacy of the world. Dr. Somani, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Respected Honorable Health Minister Sri Mansukh Mandaviya ji, respectable S. Aparna ji, Secretary, Department of Pharma, respectable Mandip Bhandari ji, Bharat Bhai, Tara Patel ji, Mahesh Doshi ji, Viranchi Bhai, and Mehul Shah, and many other respectable people which I can see, starting from Pankaj Bhai, B.N. Singh, Goda ji, Sudarshan ji, and this moment seems to be not only a celebration of 60 years of IDMA's foundation and work they have done, starting from making the industry, making the patent law which makes this industry flourish and make a pharmacy of the world. Also, their contribution into the field of economics and academics. You have the books and the journals like Indian Drugs, where many of the students wants to publish their papers. You publish the IDMA bulletins, which gives a lot of latest things about what is going on in the tax, what is going on in the schemes, what is going on in the regulations, what are various notifications which are affecting the industries. So this event is also to celebrate how the IDMA has grown for 60 years and also to celebrate passing on the baton from Mahesh Doshi to Viranchi Bhai. This, and not only that, and also to celebrate this, must be the first time that we have as Viranchi Bhai has told, a minister who is heading both the department, chemical and fertilizers, as well as health ministry. So this is an extremely useful combination coupled with what we are going to do in future. All the programs which have been assigned in this program, in this particular, they are so nicely crafted that what will be the future direction after Corona for coming 10 years, whether be it a formal, because the panel discussion you see, many stalwarts and dignitaries are there with regards to formulation, with regards to API, with regards to managing the finances and how to look forward for the innovations. So this is what I feel is one of the greatest moment, and in addition to that, सबसे बड़ी बात तो ये है कि हम एक दूसरे को पहली बार देख पा रहे हैं. अभी तक के तो सब वर्चुअली देखते थे. Though we were in touch every day during the Corona times, but that touch was with a little bit of worry, with little bit of to organize something कि यहाँ कुछ हो रहा है, वहाँ कुछ हो रहा है, ये करना है, वो करना है, ये raw material कम है, वो कम है, production कम हो रहा है. All those things were there. So, thank you very much all the organizer IDMA for honoring and calling us for this program. And it is a further honor to see that not only the IDMA people, I can see almost all industry people. The OPPI people are here, IPA people are here, FOP people are here, CP people are here. Almost entire industries, a spectrum is sitting here. Now with regards to what we have done and what regulators and industries and customers and consumer associations have done during the last Corona pandemic, all of you have witnessed extremely high level of synergy, energy, dynamism, new innovations into the methodologies to interact with each other. पहले कैसा होता था कि एक बैरियर होती थी, किसी को मिलना है बड़ी मुश्किल बात होती थी. But this adversity has brought an opportunity. It was so easy to meet even ministers. Because of the adversity, the Department of Pharma was, NPPA was available at every time during the Corona times, because उस समय industry बंद हो गई थी, काम करने वाले भाग रहे थे, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में जगह जगह रुकावट आ रही थी, चाइना से इंपोर्ट आना थोड़ा सा या इधर उधर से इंपोर्ट आना क्वेश्चनेबल हो गया था. Everything was, in a trouble. To get back, and that would have created havoc, not only for the COVID medicines, but it could have created havoc for the daily medicines like insulin or blood products or other kinds of things. But India ensured, combinedly, along with the industry's commitment, if industry had not been there, government could not have been in a position to do anything. Industry stood by the government and government stood by the industry. And that's why we were able to I remember 20th March 2020, there was not a single Corona testing kit available in our country. There was not a single medicine available in our country. There was no talk of vaccine. And forget about the liposomal amphotericin Bs and all those things. Those were not the issues at that time. Taking the challenge from that level, today we have more than 509 testing kits available in our country, which are being either manufactured, 50% of which are manufactured in India and 50% are imported in India. And we are not only fulfilling our demand, we are exporting to the world also. As far as vaccines are concerned, it's a miracle. We are vaccine surplus. We have fulfilled our demand. We are ready to fulfill others' demand also, and to develop the vaccines in the scales in a manner which industry has shown their capabilities, huge capacities in a very short period of time. The support, financial support, regulatory support given by the government, and also the support for actually hand-holding during how to make the changes into the processes, which can shorten the research and development time, which can also increase the production capacities and yield so as to fulfill the needs of the hours. This has been, the contribution of the industry in that has been unprecedented. We also ensured from the government side, our regulators forget for some time that they are regulators and officers. They become an equal partner for development of this cause. And that gave us opportunity to deeply understand the industry. And in that, the role of IDMA and various other associations also has been very crucial. We have developed the new methodologies. Now we have become all digital. All our subject expert committees, all our application processes, all our interactions, most of it happening online and in a digital manner and a secure manner. The things which were happening informally, now we are going to turn it formal. And that formal will be the new normal. The blessings of and the deep understanding of our Honorable Minister, because when he was in the Department of Pharma, Chemical and Fertilizers, he used to take almost every week meeting of what is happening with regards to the supplies of the health sector. And since then, he has been continuously ensuring that Indian supply chain, Indian production, not only for its own cause and for global cause, doesn't fall short. This IDMA's particular function is to celebrate that, to maintain that momentum of acceleration. And during this moment of acceleration, we as a regulator, I tell you, we have been in contact with WHO almost every week. We have been in contact with all regulators of the world through ICMRA, ICDRA, through ICH platform and also through various platforms. कि वैक्सीन्स को किस लेवल पे अप्रूव करना है, कब कंपैरेटिव ट्रायल को अप्रूवल देना है, कौन सा कंपैरेटर लेना है, what to do with remdesivir. This was not a singular decision taken by the Indian regulator per se. It was taken in consonance with what is the regulatory standards internationally. And we want to, because we have been recognized as a pharmacy of the world, but we want to become a quality, well-managed pharmacy of the world. Entire world should recognize us, our innovation potentials, and we have that. Because I see the applications, we get the applications of the investigational new drugs. Earlier, there used to be hardly 5-10 applications. At present, there are 23 applications in the pipeline for the investigational new drug. And this is a great achievement of our country. And you will see in coming 5 years, the not, the story has already started. The new drugs which will hit the world and make a difference to the world will be coming from India, and that will make the difference. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Dr. Somani, for your brilliant address and encouraging the industry. And we must tell you that the industry is known as the pharmacy of the world only because of officials like you who support us at every stage. Thank you very much. May I request Mr. Bharat Shah to kindly present a memento to Dr. Somani. So we now have Dr. Mandeep Bhandari, the Joint Secretary, Ministry of Health, a friend of IDMA. Whenever we have wanted to see him, he has always had an open door policy. And may I request Mr. S.M. Mudda to please introduce Dr. Mandeep Bhandari. Thank you.
Good morning to all. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mandeep Bhandari, our guest of honor. Mr. Bhandari is a medical doctor by qualification, university gold medalist from Punjab University, and a recipient of Jammu and Kashmir State Award for Best Meritorious Services in 2017. He joined the IAS service in 2001 and was allotted Jammu and Kashmir cadre. He served as in various positions such as Deputy Commissioner, Jammu and Leh, Secretary to Government of Health and Medical Education, and Deputy Commissioner of Jammu. At present, his brief duties include Drugs and Cosmetic Act, strengthening of state regulatory systems, Central Drug Control Organization, Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, and National Institute of Biologics, Food Safety and Standards Act, the whole gamut of drug and pharma industry. As I said, he is the recipient of the Jammu and Kashmir State Award for Meritorious Services. I welcome Dr. Bhandari to address the gathering. Thank you.
Honorable Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Chemicals and Fertilizers, Shri Mansukh Bhai Mandaviya ji, most respected Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ma'am S. Aparna ji, Drugs Controller General of India, Dr. V.G. Somani, Mr. Dara Patel, Mr. Bharat Shah, Mr. Mahesh Doshi ji, Dr. Viranchi Shah, Mr. Mehul Shah, captains of the industry, and all the stalwarts whom we are witnessing in today's huge gathering for celebrating IDMA's 60 years. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful celebration. First of all, I extend my hearty pleasure as well as best wishes to this very esteemed organization which is now 1,000 plus members, and which has, over the last 60 years, really built up a resilience for manufacturing quality drugs, and not only meeting the requirements of this nation, but also globally contributing to the veritable name which India has got as pharmacy of the world. Today, I'm a part of the third such event of IDMA over last, I think, 4 years. And this is the largest ever gathering which I have witnessed since then. And we are meeting, of course, after more than 2 years. With COVID-19 eating up our last 2 years. It has posed challenges, but at the same time, it has brought out the strength and the resilience of our industry. We've all seen how our responses as a nation have been in the last 2 years, which the whole globe is witness to. I remember in Feb 2020, when the imminence of this COVID-19 was looming large over us, and we were expected to source for the entire country very crucial medical equipment like PPE kits, N95 masks, and above all, ventilators at that point in time. When we went to the market, we found that we didn't have a single manufacturer of PPE in the country. We hardly had a couple of manufacturers for N95 masks. And when we collected figures from across the states, there were cumulative 15,000 to 16,000 ventilators across all the hospitals in the country. The expectation was huge. The requirements worked out were massive, and it was expected that we need to source it from anywhere to everywhere, which we can find source from. That is the point in time we discovered that there was no availability globally because the countries had imposed restrictions on their exports, looking at the scenario which was staring them, which they were looking at right as a writing in the wall. And that is when the industry came forth. Over next 3 months, precisely because we were meeting not only on daily basis, but it was a matter when we were trying to discover things on hourly basis. Government had taken up a position, setting up empowered groups to ensure that this country doesn't suffer. And industry was there to support this endeavor of fight against COVID right from the beginning. In next 2 months, we had almost 1,100 manufacturers of PPE from the point when we had none in the country. We had more than 100 manufacturers of N95 masks. And within next 1 year, we could supply to the country additionally 55,000 ventilators against 16,000 which we had over all these years since independence. So that is the kind of effort which the industry made. And this, when I'm talking about, that was a small vertical of the medical products industry, that is the medical devices. When the Deltas and Omicrons came, when we had all those nomenclatures of waves and surges coming to us, it is this industry which held high. We needed remdesivir in the quantities which were hitherto unknown. We required liposomal amphotericin B. All those dreaded diseases, they were coming forth, one after the other, like waves post-COVID. And industry was up to it. There was so much of support from the government There was so much of follow-up, monitoring, need assessment, whatever gap filling was required, whatever regulatory support was required, and above all, the leadership in the form of our Honorable Minister and the Honorable Prime Minister for every endeavor of the industry to take it forward. IDMA has proved its mettle, it has proved its strength during the hour of the need, and we just hope that we are seeing the back of this dreaded disease. We have the story of vaccine before us. Dr. Somani has brought it out in details. In such a short span of time, we today have 14 vaccine candidates which have been approved. The country is a global exporter of vaccines after instilling more than 185 crore doses in the country. It is huge, it is mammoth, it is hitherto unknown. So this is all because it was whole of government approach, it was whole of societal approach. It was industry, it was society, it was government, it was regulator, which were shaping up together, which were coming close together, trying to bridge every single gap and to ensure that the people of this country don't suffer. And all accolades to you gentlemen and ladies who are sitting here who have contributed this immensely. Thank you so much. IDMA, when we see as a 1,000-member body, in fact 1,000-member plus body, it has been contributing its bit in all sectors, including Swachhata. When I am informed that Indian Pharma Swachhata Champion Award, it was the first recipient for the same. It's again a very big first to this association. It has acted as a bridge between the government and the industry and has been always available at every beck and call. The kind of communication which was required during these tough times, the association has been up to it. Government, on its part, has been trying to handhold through regulatory support, through the pharmaceutical support. I remember that Ma'am Aparna used to hold a meeting every day at 9:30 a.m. And our Honorable Minister used to be monitoring that from very, very close quarters. When Sir was looking after Department of Pharmaceuticals at that point in time, he used to give us calls asking us that what is the quantum of a particular drug available? Which company or which molecule have you been able to order, or are there any issues in terms of getting or sourcing any product? That is a kind of coordination and support which the whole of government approach was getting followed. There was faster access and availability which was ensured through the regulatory work. When I look back, in 2019, we had issued the new drugs and clinical trial rules. And these were the ones which really came good to us in 2020 when the pandemic struck. The regulator could use those clauses for fast-tracking the approvals, for abbreviating the processes, at the same time ensuring that the quality, safety, and efficacy of the drugs don't get compromised. There was parallel testing of the vaccines, which was allowed both at the manufacturer's level and at the level of the central drug lab. This was again a process which was required to fast-track the whole process. Dr. Somani has brought out in detail, though I had requested him not to cover up the entire scenario and leave something for us also to talk, which he seldom listens to. Of course, regulator shouldn't be listening to government. He should be doing what he feels based on the data, which he has been doing. Well, it's a real pleasure to be a part of this very august gathering and to be talking to the captains of the industry. You are the future of this country. You are the sunrise sector. And this is what the country is looking up to all of you. On our part, under the able guidance and the directions of the Honorable Minister, we have been working on various verticals in improving ease of doing business, in ensuring Atmanirbhar Bharat, in reducing compliance burden, and now we are very closely looking at the processes of reducing, or I should say, the decriminalization of our acts also. And a lot of work is going on, but of course, it's work in progress, and we continuously need your feedback, your guidance, your support to ensure that we continue to work as a single continuum. I'll end with this couplet, which veritably shows the kind of effort which industry has made when we were all groping in the dark, but when we had something as a task, as uphill, which we witnessed during the COVID. हम भी दरिया हैं, हमें अपना हुनर मालूम है. हम भी दरिया हैं, हमें अपना हुनर मालूम है. जिस तरफ भी चल पड़ेंगे, रास्ता हो जाएगा. That is the effort which all of us have made as a nation, and let's continue to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very inspirational. May I now request Mr. Mahesh Doshi to please present a memento to Dr. Bhandari on our behalf. We are now very eagerly looking forward to listening to our Secretary, Madam Aparna, Secretary DOP. And may I request Mr. Mahesh Doshi to please come up and introduce her.
It is my proud privilege to introduce a dynamic lady, our Secretary DOP, Madam Aparna ji. Madam S. Aparna is currently a Secretary to the Government of India, Department of Pharmaceuticals, since 1st October 2020. Madam is a member of the Indian IAS for the past 3 decades. She has a wide range of experience in the national, sub-national and a local government. Her principal area of experience have been public finance, development policy and planning, and urban governance. Madam Subramani has served on the board of a director on so many public sector company, practically more than 15 public sector committee, operating in energy, industrial infrastructure and financial services. Madam Aparna served as the executive director on the board of the World Bank group representing Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Sri Lanka for 3 years from 17 to August 2020, and then immediately she became our secretary. Madam S. Aparna holds a postgraduate degree in geology and MPhil in energy and environment from India, and a master in business administration from Melbourne, Australia. Her priority for the pharma medical devices are to empower the industry to be a more competitive, globally increase drug security and resilience, and contribute SDG 03 through making available affordable medicine and medical devices of a high quality of meeting patients' need. Madam understand the 5 languages, that's a Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu, French, Hindi and English. I told you specific this thing because you can convert yourself in any of the language. She is a fluent, and I think personal language if you will use, that will create a more intimacy and a closeness. So now I invite Madam to say a few words for the today's function.
Thank you, Mahesh bhai. Good morning. It's almost noon. Good morning and namaskar to everybody. our most respected and honorable Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Minister also for Chemicals and Fertilizers, in which the Department of Pharmaceutical lies, dignitaries on the dais, President Viranchi Bhai, immediate past President Shri Mahesh Doshi, Shri Bharat Bhai, Shri Mehul Shah, Shri Darabai. I have to speak to him in Gujarati. He doesn't believe that I can speak Gujarati. Our official colleagues, Dr. Bandari and Dr. Somani. In the audience, there are even greater stalwarts and leaders. I acknowledge their presence. It is very good to see also all stakeholders present here, including the state drug controllers, members from sister organizations representing pharmaceuticals. It is a great pleasure to be here with you on this very happy occasion of the 60th anniversary of the IDMA. It is a milestone for any organization, and I believe that this organization has proven its worth, its contribution, and its importance and relevance to nation building over the last 60 years. I wish all of you even greater laurels on this occasion. I also take this occasion to extend my wishes on the auspicious occasion of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar Jayanti. This is also an extremely important landmark in modern India. It is also an auspicious occasion for many communities in this country. So, Iniya Puttandu Varthagal, Madam from Tamil, jo yahan pe Punjabi hain, lakh lakh vadaiyan, Baisakhi di, and Shubho Poila Baishakh to all of you who are here from East India. It is a happy occasion for us to be celebrating such an event as the Diamond Jubilee. It is a time also to introspect. What have we achieved in these 60 years and what lies ahead? As you know, the Honorable Prime Minister of India has announced that India will work towards its Amrit Utsav, that is the next 25 years. This is the time that we need to strategize, plan, and work towards achieving that potential. I took over as secretary in the pharmaceuticals department about 16, 17 months ago, and I'm quite proud to be associated with the sector for a couple of reasons. One is, I find that this is not a sector that has only an economic value. It is a societal sector. It is a sector, an industry which has got social relevance. And that is perhaps what motivates each one of us who is in the industry or in the policy making. It is important because, as has been pointed out by other speakers ahead of me, that this contributes to human wellness, it contributes to society, it contributes to longevity, lowered mortality and mortality, and general well-being of mankind as a whole. It is also, that may also be one of the reasons that it is a highly regulated sector. So apart from all the challenges that any manufacturing sector may be facing, in the pharmaceutical sector, there is an additional responsibility of compliance with various regulations relating to quality, relating to access, and relating to affordability. These are not to be seen as mere hindrances, but facilitations that will enable the pharmaceutical industry to actually fulfill its role in the larger frame of things. And I'm extremely happy to note that the industry here in India, and Honorable Minister will also bear me out, has been very forward-looking when it comes to collaborating on ensuring that regulations are reasonable and are well implemented by the sector. And I do hope that we will continue to see that kind of a positive attitude. The role of associations such as IDMA and others who are present here, notably IPA and OPPI and FOPI, in acting as a bridge between the government and the regulators on one side and the industry on the other side is extremely important in this context. And I did hear most of the speakers before me in a very self-congratulatory mode for the work that had been done in the last 2 years. And I would also like to add my acknowledgement, recognition, and congratulations to the industry for the way that the industry stepped up during these 2 last quite difficult years in our history. It is true that there were extremely challenging periods, when we were not having access to transportation, logistics, raw materials, labor, sometimes even capital inputs. But it was at this time that the industry showed its mettle and stepped up to ensure that there was not a single day's disruption in the overall smooth movement and supply of medicines and medical devices, in fact, throughout the country. Even more importantly, and something that the Honorable Prime Minister has also very proudly mentioned at some of the international forum, the industry continued to service almost 200 countries in supplying medicines and medical supplies during this entire period. This is something that we can be proud of. We can look back with a sense of satisfaction. But I do also believe that the last 2 years have shown that this is a sector where there is a greater public attention, there is a greater public scrutiny for the very reasons that I have mentioned, its relevance for general well-being, health and wellness of society as a whole. And this is something that we should take not as a challenge, but as an opportunity that goads us to do even better in the future. I would like to highlight 3 trends or 3 opportunities that are available to the sector, because this is an event today where we not only think about what we have achieved in the past, but we also think about what we need to do in the future. The 3 issues that I would like to address, number 1, is the accepted principle of drug security. Drug security was always accepted as an important driver for the pharmaceutical sector. This is an accepted, articulated principle now, and it is now the collective responsibility of policymakers and industry to work towards that end. And to that objective, industry should, and I hope will, look at gaps in our value chain, areas of vulnerability, and try to build back those capacities that we may have lost for various reasons over the last 2 or 3 decades. I refer specifically to our self-reliance in certain raw materials and inputs, not only APIs, but also certain consumables, excipients that we found we were wanting in as we were meeting the challenges of the last 2 years. So my request to IDMA and indeed to industry will be to address strategies and plans that will enable us to build a reasonable and acceptable level of drug security on a sustainable basis. The second area of attention that I would like to bring to your notice is the growing importance of innovation. India has and will continue to be a global leader in the generic space. It is well known that we are a huge market leader in this. We supply almost 20 to 22% of generics globally. We are the 3rd largest in terms of market size. These are excellent achievements to have made. I believe in the days going forward, in the years to come, there will be a greater role for innovation and research in ensuring the growth and development of the pharmaceutical sector. I would like IDMA also to start building a strategy in the industry on how we can exploit this opportunity. I may point out that innovation does not necessarily mean costlier drugs. Innovation should pursue patient centricity. So the affordability of our innovation products is going to continue to have importance, particularly in our society and in fact, in a large number of developing countries that we can serve from our industry. For this purpose, we have in the government extended unprecedented support under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister and our Honorable Minister of almost $4 billion, about 28,000 crore rupees, in the form of PLIs, production-linked incentives that address drug security, increased domestic manufacturing capacity, and promote innovative products and product diversification. So if industry uses this resource which is available, this budgetary or fiscal support that is available intelligently, we can leverage it into a much larger impact in terms of improving our innovative capacity in the Indian pharmaceutical industry. I may also mention that the department has also finalized a draft policy based on huge inputs from industry led by Shri Pankaj Bhai Patel to catalyze R&D and innovation in pharma and medtech sector. This looks in a large extent on collaboration across industry, between private sector and public research institutions. And in that context, I would like to again bring to the notice of the IDMA members and office bearers that research is not the arena only of very large pharma companies. Even mid-sized companies, and in fact even smaller companies, can collaborate in research to improve their products, improve the therapeutic outcomes, to improve the efficiency of their processes with public research institutions. And we offer 7 NIPERs, National Institutes of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, to collaborate with industry in a way that can maximize the competencies of both private industry as well as the NIPERs. And we hope to be able to build entrepreneurship centers, incubation centers, and technology transfer centers in these NIPERs with the help of industry as a collaborative effort. One more area of increasing innovation in the pharmaceutical space is continuous upskilling of our professionals and our technical people. For this reason, we have also now started providing online courses, executive courses for in-service training and upskilling of our professionals, which I believe will be extremely important to get into that innovative mindset, which is necessary that it should permeate the sector if we are to achieve any progress in this. The third area that I would like to highlight is in terms of manufacturing competitiveness. So I spoke of drug security, I spoke of innovation and research. And the third area that is going to be important in the years to come, in my humble opinion, is going to be manufacturing technology. We have a way of doing things, and we have been doing things in a particular way over the last 3 to 4 decades. Of course, there are incremental improvements from time to time. But if you look at the global scenario, there is a great move towards continuous flow technology. As more and more concerns are raised on AMR and other things, there will be more focus on green manufacturing. Advanced companies, advanced economies which had earlier outsourced manufacturing to emerging economies are now using automation and robotics to improve the efficiencies of their production processes. We would lose the cost advantage if that were not adopted in India. So I believe the entire gamut of manufacturing technology offers great opportunities which have to be captured not only by large pharmaceuticals but also mid-sized and small pharmaceutical companies in our country. And to help the SMEs improve their technology and provide better quality assurance for their products, we have also recently, with the approval of Honorable Minister, issued the guidelines for the Pharmaceutical Technology Upgradation Scheme, where we hope to help some SMEs to upgrade their technology for better quality management and meeting Schedule M or WHO standards, etc. So these are the 3 areas that I feel are areas where you may like to focus on in the years to come as you build your strategies. I would also like to end with 2 challenges that I see in the future, which again are, can be converted into opportunities if we think in the right direction. And one is the changing profile of the pharmaceutical products. There is a greater growth in biopharmaceuticals, biologics, that we have already seen. We are seeing that there will be greater use of gene and cell therapy in the years to come. I'm not even talking about decades, but in the years to come. Already we have seen that the mRNA vaccine has revolutionized the vaccine ecosystem. And you would see this is happening in CRISPR, and there are developments in DNA manipulation, which will have impact on the kind of products that will be used in therapeutic processes. And therefore, I feel that there is a need for us to introspect on which are the areas where I would like to acknowledge presence of wellness experts also here. There are two areas where India has got an advantage. One is in holistic wellness, where there is a need to bring wellness industry along together with pharmaceutical industry. And the second is in natural product. I think from 20th, we have an innovation summit of the Ministry of Ayush. There is a need to build convergence and complementarity between chemical and biological products and natural products, which can be converted into phytopharmaceuticals. There is also a huge scope in marine therapeutics. So I feel that these are challenges that we should try to capitalize on in the years to come. That was one. And the second one is a global challenge. After several years of globalization, in the aftermath of the pandemic, we are seeing now a reverse trend of deglobalization. Every country is trying to bring domestic manufacturing, not only in pharmaceuticals, but in many products. Every country wants to reduce its dependence and increase its resilience. That is a challenge. But that challenge can be converted into an opportunity by smart strategizing. And I do hope that IDMA will find the strength and the resources and the competencies to identify opportunities in both these areas. I would like to end by again mentioning my tremendous appreciation for the kind of work that has been done in the last 2 years, for the kind of support that we have seen whenever there was a national need, for the kind of competencies, capacities that industry brought forward whenever it was required. I still remember the second wave. Honorable Minister had mandated us to ensure the availability of certain drugs. And there were industry captains with a total maybe net worth of several tens of billions of dollars who were sitting in a room virtually every second day to ensure that we are able to ramp up manufacturing. When we did not have liposomal amphotericin B that Mandeep mentioned, starting from 2 companies, we ended up with something like 15 companies that can produce amphotericin or liposomal amphotericin B. So was the case when we needed paracetamol in the last wave. So every time, industry has shown not only its capacity, but its will and its dedication to the nation. So I will end with where I began, that this is an industry not only with an economic role. Of course, the pharmaceutical industry provides $17 billion of trade surplus in a year. It is a huge economic contribution to the country, but it also has a societal purpose, a societal role, a societal responsibility. I do hope that IDMA members will continue to pursue these twin goals of growth as well as well-being and ensure that we equip ourselves to prepare for the future. Thank you so much and my best wishes.
Thank you very much, Madam, for that wonderful address that has charged all of us, and we promise you not to let you and the ministry down. We'll continue to do our best to meet the goals that you have set for us. Mahesh Bhai was asking me before introducing you that what is S, Aparna, what does S stand for? I didn't want to find it out, but I know S stands for super. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for the super Aparna, our great guide, our great supporter. Thank you very much, Madam. May I request our President, Viranchi Shah, to please present a memento to Madam Aparna. So we want to acknowledge the presence of some of our stalwarts here. Some will be done later on. Madam spoke about wellness and fitness. We have a wellness and fitness guru sitting there, Mr. Mickey Mehta. He gave us a number of seminars in the pandemic period. May I request Yogin Majumdar to please present a bouquet to Mickey Mehta. Mickey here, please. Thank you. We have our industry captain, Mr. Pankaj Patel. May I request George Patani, where are you, George? To please present a bouquet to Mr. Pankaj Patel. Get some more. Chen, there he is. We have Mr. Uday Bhaskar, the Secretary General of the Director General of Pharmexil. Uday ji. Okay. Who will give it? Manish bhai, can you please run across? Thank you so much. The most energetic former president. We have S. Sridhar, our very dear friend, the chief of Pfizer and the president of OPPI. Deepna ji, may I request you to present flowers to... We also have KG Anand Krishnan, the Director General of OPPI. Deepna ji, can you please present flowers to KG? May I request Mr. Munjal to present flowers to Sudarshan Jain, our very dear friend. We work very closely, the Secretary General of IPA. We have Mr. Sahil Munjal, who is the chairman of Pharmexil. May I request Mr. P.C. Godha to please present flowers to him. We have Madam Jyoti Sardesai, the chief of FDA Goa. May I request Mrs. Mehul Shah to please present flowers to her. We have Dr. Gahane, the signing authority in Maharashtra FDA, the Joint Commissioner. May I request Mr. Dinesh Patel, Dr. Dinesh Patel to please present flowers to Gahane. Wo kamno manas hai, Dinesh bhai. So thank you very much, and there'll be more dignitaries who will be honored later on. May I request George Patani and Dr. Gopakumar to come up and get the IDMA annual publication released at the hands of our Honorable Minister and Madam and the other dignitaries, please. Friends, as they say in Hindi, इंतजार की घड़ी आ गई है. We have our chief guest, our very popular Minister of Health and Family Welfare and Chemical and Fertilizer, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya. And I will kindly request our President, Dr. Viranchi Shah, to kindly introduce him.
थैंक यू दारा जी। मित्रों, महाभारत के युद्ध के बाद एक प्रश्न खड़ा हुआ था भीम और अर्जुन के बीच कि कौन बड़ा योद्धा है, कौन बड़ा लीडर है। और जैसे ये होता है, श्री कृष्ण जी के पास गया कि कौन बड़ा लीडर होता है, कौन राइट लीडर होता है। उस जमाने में राजा थे, कौन अच्छा राजा होता है, कौन अच्छा लीडर होता है। और बहुत बड़े संवाद के बाद दो चीज़ें बाहर आई। आप अगर किसी लीडर के पास जाते हो, किसी योद्धा के पास जाते हो, किसी राजा के पास जाते हो, क्या आप सप्रेस्ड या भयभीत अपने आप को पाते हो या एम्पावर्ड पाते हो? कि आपको पॉजिटिव एनर्जी मिलती है या नेगेटिव एनर्जी मिलती है? तो पहला, अगर आपको पॉजिटिव एनर्जी मिलती है तो वाकई में बहुत अच्छा लीडर है। दूसरा क्वेश्चन आया कि राजा जो है उसके पास जब प्रश्न आता है तो हर एक प्रश्न के अलग अलग पहलू होते हैं। जैसे हमारा एक नोटिफिकेशन आ गया, सोमानी साहब ने सुबह साइन करके डाल दिया इंटरनेट पे, और हम सब सोचने लगे अब क्या करना है इसका। सब राजा के पास गए। 5 लोगों की कंपनी है, उसका एक पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होता है वो नोटिफिकेशन के लिए। 50 लोगों की साइज़ की कंपनी है, उसका भी एक अलग पर्सपेक्टिव होता है। 500 लोगों की कंपनी है, उसका एक अलग पर्सपेक्टिव होता है। और 50,000 लोगों की कंपनी, पंकज भाई बैठे, उनका अपना एक पर्सपेक्टिव होता है। और अपने व्यू से सबके पर्सपेक्टिव सही होते हैं। फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री का पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होता है, शायद डॉक्टर्स का पर्सपेक्टिव उसके लिए अलग होगा, कंज्यूमर का पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होगा, रेगुलेटर का भी एक पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होगा। तो क्या वो लीडर, वो राजा, वो योद्धा वो समझ सकता है और इसमें से एक प्रैक्टिकल सॉल्यूशन निकाल के सबको साथ आगे ले जा सकता है? तो श्री कृष्ण भगवान ने दो जवाब दिए कि अगर आप ये 2 चीज़ कर सकते हो तो आप एक अच्छे लीडर हो। और मेरे ख्याल से ये सनातन सत्य है और इस सत्य को सार्थक हमारे मनसुख भाई ने किया हुआ है। मेरा सौभाग्य रहा है कि मैं उनको करीब से जान पाया हूँ। उनका जो कार्य पद्धति है वो मैंने करीब से देखी है और मैंने ये 2 चीज़ें देखी है उसमें। उन्होंने कोई भी प्रॉब्लम को प्रॉब्लम की तरह नहीं देखा है, उसका सॉल्यूशन क्या लाया जाए, कैसे लाया जाए और सबको साथ में लेकर उसको कैसे पॉजिटिव वे में उसको मैनेज किया जाए। और आप अगर प्रॉब्लम लेके जाते हो तो कभी नेगेटिव एनर्जी नहीं आती है। इज़ ऑलवेज वेलकमिंग है, आइए क्या प्रॉब्लम है आपका बताइए, सुनने के लिए तैयार है, एक्शन लेने के लिए तत्पर है। तो एक ऐसे ये व्यक्ति है कि जिनकी जो जर्नी है वो पालीताना से पार्लियामेंट में तक गई है। और पालीताना के एक छोटे से गांव में, अनोल गांव है उनका, वहाँ उनका जन्म हुआ। बहुत ही एवरेज फैमिली, फार्मर का उनका फैमिली है, फार्मिंग उनका फैमिली बिजनेस है, फैमिली प्रोफेशन है। और वहाँ से लेके फार्मिंग से फार्मेसी तक पहुँच गए। और इस पूरी जर्नी में उन्होंने काफ़ी सारे माइलस्टोन खड़े किए। जैसे ये चलने के बहुत शौकीन है। उनके पास अगर मैं उनके घर अगर किसी काम के लिए गया, उनके पास 15 मिनट है तो वो मुझे बोलेंगे तो ऐसा कर, मेरे साथ चल और तेरा जो भी प्रॉब्लम हो चलते चलते मुझे सुना। ही इज़ वेरी फॉन्ड ऑफ वॉकिंग। इन्होंने 2 बहुत बड़ी पदयात्राएं की। एक 123 किलोमीटर की पदयात्रा की जिसमें बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ के लिए उन्होंने की, एक लैंडमार्क पदयात्रा थी। एक 127 किलोमीटर्स की पदयात्रा की जिसमें व्यसन हटाओ पे उन्होंने फोकस किया। ये इन्होंने वैक्सीनेशन में बहुत बड़ा काम किया। हम जानते हैं कि आज 186 करोड़ डोजेज इंडिया ने एडमिनिस्टर किए हैं। शायद इतना बड़ा वैक्सीनेशन कैंपेन। हाल ही में एक सर्वे हुआ था, भारत के जो 100 सबसे पावरफुल लोग हैं, और पावर में इसलिए बता रहा हूँ नेगेटिव सेंस में नहीं है, ये पॉजिटिव सेंस में इनमें पावर है। पावर टू चेंज द थिंग्स। जो स्टेटस है उसको जहाँ चेंज करना है, पॉजिटिव वे में चेंज करना है। ऐसे जो 100 लोग हैं उसमें से मनसुख भाई स्टैंड्स 25th इन इंडिया। और मेरे हिसाब से शायद उससे कहीं ना कहीं सर्वे वालों की कहीं गलती हुई होगी। पर्सनली मैं उनको जानता हूँ, बहुत डिसिप्लिन है। उनका अपना एक वे ऑफ वर्किंग है। रात को वो कल का पूरा काम फाइनलाइज कर लेते हैं, क्या करना है, क्या अचीव करना है, क्या डिलीवर करना है। बहुत ही डिसिप्लिन है। आज सुबह भी मुझे थोड़ा दौड़ाया था। ही इज़ वेरी हेल्थ कॉन्शियस। काम में बहुत डिसिप्लिन है। पूरा परिवार बहुत डिसिप्लिन है। और हमें सौभाग्य है के ऐसे डायनेमिक लीडर हमको मिले हैं। तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा मनसुख भाई से कि आप जरा संबोधित करें इस सेशन को। थैंक यू।
इंडियन ड्रग्स मैन्युफैक्चरर्स एसोसिएशन के डायमंड जुबिली सेलिब्रेशन अवसर पर हमारे बीच में उपस्थित और हिडमा के नवनियुक्त अध्यक्ष विरांची शाह जी, हमारे विभाग के सेक्रेटरी एस अपर्णा जी, हमारे जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी मनदीप भंडारी जी, हमारे ड्रग्स कंट्रोलर जनरल वीजी सोमानी जी, महेश दोशी जी, भरत शाह जी, मेहुल शाह जी, पंकज भाई, सभी उपस्थित भाइयों एवं बहनों, पिछले 2 वर्ष से मिलना होता था तो वर्चुअली मिलना होता था। जब विरांची भाई ने मुझे कहा कि 600-700 से अधिक संख्या उपस्थित रहेगी, तो मैंने सोचा कि सचमुच रहेगी। तो उन्होंने कहा कि कोविड क्राइसिस के बाद पहली बार सभी को फिजिकल मिलने का अवसर मिल रहा है, इसलिए अवश्य आएंगे। आप इतनी संख्या में उपस्थित रहे हैं। देश आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है और इडमा एक फार्मा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एसोसिएशन अपनी स्थापना का 60वां साल मना रहा है। ये सहयोग है और यही ऐसे सहयोग है हमें मिलने का अवसर देता है। ऐसे ही कार्यक्रम से यहाँ सरकार भी है, इंडस्ट्रीज भी है, इंडस्ट्रीज एसोसिएशन भी है, सरकार के ऑफिसर्स भी है, आपस में संवाद होता है, आपस में विचार विमर्श होता है। ऐसे कार्यक्रम के माध्यम से ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग होता है जिसके आधार पर इंडस्ट्रीज और नेशन का भविष्य सुनिश्चित होता है। और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने सही कहा है कि देश को आगे बढ़ना है तो क्या केवल सरकार सोचेगी, सरकार ही सब कुछ करेगी, सरकार की एक तरफ से ही एफर्ट होगा, शायद परिणाम मिलेगा, लेकिन समय लगेगा और पूर्ण परिणाम मिलने में दिक्कत होगी। जब सारा देश नेशन बिल्डिंग में अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन करता है, सब लोग साथ में एक डग आगे रखते हैं, 130 करोड़ की जनता एक साथ में एक डग आगे बढ़ते हैं तो देश 130 करोड़ डग आगे बढ़ जाते हैं। सामूहिक तौर पर आगे बढ़ने का ये तरीका, ये रास्ता मोदी जी ने हमें दिया है और इसलिए अवर गवर्नमेंट इज प्रो पुअर्स, प्रो फार्मर्स बट इंडस्ट्रीज फ्रेंडली गवर्नमेंट। हमारी सरकार गरीबों के प्रति, किसानों के प्रति समर्पित है, लेकिन इंडस्ट्रीज फ्रेंडली गवर्नमेंट है। हम जानते हैं देश के विकास में इंडस्ट्रीज का एक महत्वपूर्ण रोल है। देश को आत्मनिर्भर करने के लिए इंडस्ट्रीज का एक महत्वपूर्ण रोल है और फार्मा इंडस्ट्रीज हमारे देश में पहले से ही आगे बढ़ी हुई इंडस्ट्रीज है। इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन हो रहा था, ऐसी स्थिति में फार्मा इंडस्ट्रीज ने लीड किया और देश इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट में आगे बढ़ते गए। और आज हमारी फार्मा इंडस्ट्रीज
फार्मा ऑफ द वर्ल्ड के रूप में हम दुनिया में जहां भी जाते हैं, एज ए गवर्नमेंट, एज ए सिटीजन, एज ए इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, एज ए फार्मा इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, जब आप दुनिया में जाते हैं तो लोग गौरव से कहते हैं कि इंडिया फार्मा ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। आज अमेरिका 3 पिल लोग लेते हैं तो एक इंडिया में बनी हुई जेनरिक पिल होती है। आज अब सारी दुनिया 5 पिल लेती है तो एक इंडिया में बनी हुई गोली होती है। ये हमारे लिए सौभाग्य है और ये तब हो पाया है जब सरकार ने भी एफर्ट किया होगा और इंडस्ट्रीज ने भी एफर्ट किया होगा, सबने साथ में मिलकर प्रयास किया होगा, तब हम यहाँ पहुँचे हैं। और यहाँ एक अच्छी बात हुई कि देश 25 साल के बाद अपनी आज़ादी का 100 साल पूरा करेगा। और 100 साल में हमारा लक्ष्य क्या है, हम कहाँ जाना चाहिए और उसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच रही है। वो दूरगामी दृष्टि से सोचते हैं 10 साल के बाद हमें कहाँ जाना है और एक कहाँ जाना है, ये जब आप डिसीजन करते हैं, गोल तय करते हैं, 25 साल के बाद कहाँ जाना है, गोल जब आप तय करते हैं, तब उसके लिए क्या रिफॉर्म करना चाहिए, किस तरह से हम जाएंगे। केवल हम लक्ष्य ले लेंगे यहाँ जाना है तो नहीं जाएंगे, हमें 5वें मंजिले पे जाना है, सीढ़ी चाहिए। स्टेप सीढ़ी नहीं होगी तो 5वें मंजिले जाने की बात तो कर सकते हैं। ऐसी बात भूतकाल में हमें 21 की सदी के बारे में सुना था। 21 की सदी आ रही है, 21 की सदी आ रही है, उसके अनुरूप हमें एक्शन प्लान तैयार किया क्या। बात ऐसी हो जाती है समय के अनुसार हम एक्शन नहीं करते हैं तो हमें जाना है मुंबई से अहमदाबाद और ट्रेन तो अपने टाइम पे आती है। 21 की सदी तो टाइम पे आ गई, सुबह में 10 बजे की ट्रेन होती है तो 10 बजे प्लेटफॉर्म पर आ जाती है और 10 बजे पर ट्रेन प्लेटफॉर्म पर आ जाती है और हम नहीं पहुंचे तो ट्रेन तो अपने समय पे निकल जाती है। इसलिए हमें आगे बढ़ना है और आगे बढ़ने के लिए सरकार ने कार्य योजना बनाई। यहाँ अपर्णा जी आपको बता रही थी हमें क्या करना चाहिए, सरकार की साइड से क्या करना चाहिए, कौन से रिफॉर्म की आवश्यकता है। हम ड्रग्स एंड कॉस्मेटिक एक्ट में बदल कर रहे हैं, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं और हम जानते हैं ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस ओनली हम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्यवस्था कर दे, इतने तक हम सीमित नहीं रखना चाहते हैं और इससे सारा इशू सोल्व नहीं होना होता है। हम समझते हैं कि धरती पर लास्ट से लास्ट जब आप इंडस्ट्रीज लगाते हैं तो आपको पहले लैंड चाहिए, लैंड के बाद आपको वहाँ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर खड़ा करना है, ये उस सब के लिए आपको परमिशन चाहिए। परमिशन मिलने के बाद इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, आपकी फैक्ट्री खड़ी होने के बाद नंबर ऑफ टाइप के लाइसेंस लेने की आवश्यकता होती है, एनओसी लेने की आवश्यकता होती है। ये सारी सीक्वेंस में आपको क्या क्या दिक्कत होती है उसके ऊपर हम लोगों ने डिटेल स्टडी किया है। हम चाहते हैं कि आने वाले दिनों में कई ऐसे विषय है उसमें हम सेल्फ सर्टिफिकेशन पर जाए। हम इंडस्ट्रीज पर भरोसा करने वाले लोग हैं, हम भरोसा करने चाहते हैं। और दोस्तों ये गवर्नमेंट है, ये सरकार है जिसका मुखिया रेड फोर्ट से बोलते हैं कि वेल्थ क्रिएटर का सम्मान करो। वेल्थ क्रिएटर का सम्मान इसलिए आवश्यक है क्योंकि वेल्थ क्रिएटर देश की इकोनॉमी में, देश के रोजगार निर्माण में अपनी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रखता है। और इसलिए आचार्य चाणक्य ने एक बहुत अच्छी बात कही थी, कोई राज्य को समृद्ध होना है तो ये राज्य में रहने वाले लोग, राज्य में रहने वाले महाजन, महाजन मीन्स इंडस्ट्रीज बिजनेसमैन, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, महाजन को राज्याश्रय देना चाहिए। सेकंड सेंटेंस में लिखा कि महाजन को राज्याश्रय देने से क्या फायदा होगा। आप जब इंडस्ट्रीज को प्रोत्साहित करेंगे, बिकॉज फायदा ये होगा, माई सेल्फ इज बेस्ट पॉलिटिशियन, इट्स मीनिंग इज नॉट दैट माई सेल्फ इज बेस्ट इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट। संपत्ति का सर्जन करना एक आर्ट होती है, कला होती है, ये सब में नहीं होती है। मैं एक अच्छा पॉलिटिशियन हो सकता हूँ लेकिन कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि मैं एक अच्छा इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट भी हूँ। जिसमें इंडस्ट्रीज, जिसमें संपत्ति का सर्जन करने की आर्ट है, कला है, उसको प्रोत्साहित करने से 2 फायदा होता है। एक, रोजगार का निर्माण होता है, दूसरा सरकार की तिजोरी में टैक्स देते हैं। सरकार की तिजोरी में हम गरीब से टैक्स नहीं ले सकते, हम किसान से टैक्स नहीं ले सकते। सरकार की तिजोरी में टैक्स कौन डालेगा? तो जो संपत्ति का सर्जन करेंगे उस सरकार की तिजोरी में टैक्स डालेंगे। और चाणक्य ने तब लास्ट में कहा कि तब जाके राज्य कल्याणकारी राज्य बनेगा। ये समय में भी गरीब और किसान, आज से 2000 साल पहले भी गरीब और किसान से टैक्स नहीं लिया जाता था। ये बात आज से 2000 साल पहले जो चाणक्य ने कही थी, वही पथ पर मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हमारी सरकार आगे बढ़ रही है। दोस्तों, हम चाहते हैं कि इंडस्ट्रीज में ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस बने, कंप्लायंस बर्डन कम हो। और जब हम कोई कानून करते हैं, कोई रूल्स बनाते हैं, कोई रेगुलेशन बनाते हैं, कोई पॉलिसी फॉर्म करते हैं, तो हमारी पहली प्राथमिकता होती है हम स्टेक होल्डर कंसल्टेशन करते हैं। और उसके औपचारिकता नहीं, उसके ऊपर एक्शनेबल पॉइंट आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं। इस बार बजट के बाद आपने देखा होगा, वो आप में से भी कई लोग जुड़े होंगे, वेबिनार के माध्यम से इंडस्ट्रीज के सामने हमने बजट रखा। ये बजट में क्या क्या प्रावधान किया है, उसकी क्या इफेक्ट होगी, और उसके लिए जब हम रूल्स, रेगुलेशन और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करेंगे, तब इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करने में क्या क्या चीज़ें हमें ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए, जिसके आधार पर हम बेस्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कर पाए। केवल हमने ऑफिस में बैठ के ये निर्णय नहीं किया बजट का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन का, लेकिन वेबिनार के माध्यम से हमने स्टेक होल्डर से, इंडस्ट्रीज से कंसल्टेशन किया, इंडस्ट्रीज से बातचीत की, और उसमें से जो एक्शनेबल पॉइंट निकले हैं, एक्शनेबल पॉइंट के आधार पर हम बजट का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करेंगे। क्योंकि बजट देश के लिए है, देश की इकोनॉमी के लिए है, इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए है, और जिसके लिए है, जिसको हमें देना है, उसका विचार हम नहीं लेंगे, उसका कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं होगा, तो शायद बजट में अनाउंसमेंट तो हो जाएगा, बजट में फाइनेंस एलोकेशन भी हो जाएगा, लेकिन हमारी अपेक्षा के अनुसार उसमें से आउटपुट नहीं मिलेगा। और इसलिए हमने जो जो एक्शन लिया है, वो एक्शन में रिफ्लेक्ट होता है हमें हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज कैसे सर्वाइव हो, हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज कैसे आगे बढ़े, और हम कैसे, आप अभी पिछले 1 महीने में, 1.5 महीने में 2 फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट हुआ। एक यूएई के साथ हुआ, एक ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ हुआ। उसमें फार्मा सेक्टर की क्या भूमिका होती है, रहेगी, उसके पर जब इस विचार पर डिस्कशन चल रहा था, तो हम सारे पहलू को देख लेते हैं। आज यूरोपियन यूनियन, यूएस एफडी जिस मेडिसिन को अप्रूव करती है, उसके लिए कई कंट्री अपना डोर ओपन कर रही है। फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट में हम ये भी विषय को डालते हैं, जैसे कि आने वाले दिनों में हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज दुनिया में स्मूथली ट्रेड कर सके, उसको दिक्कत ना हो, इंस्पेक्शन राज्य से हो, दूर हो। हम कम से कम कंप्लायंस बर्डन करना चाहते हैं, कंप्लायंस बर्डन रिमूव करना चाहते हैं। और आने वाले दिनों में आत्मनिर्भर भारत के तहत हमने हेल्थ सेक्टर को कभी, और इंडिया की तो तासीर रही है, हमने कभी हेल्थ सेक्टर को केवल बिजनेस की दृष्टि से नहीं देखा है, नहीं इंडस्ट्रीज की दृष्टि से देखा है, नहीं कमाई की दृष्टि से देखा है। हम तो वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की धारणा के साथ काम करने वाले लोग हैं। हम सारी दुनिया, सारी विश्व को एक कुटुंब मानते हैं, और हेल्थ की दृष्टि से हमने दुनिया को कायम मदद की है। आप लोग जब दुनिया में अपनी मेडिसिन एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं, तब दुनिया की सेवा कर रहे हैं। ये भाव मेरे इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट में हो, और मैंने वो रिफ्लेक्ट होते हुए देखा है। क्योंकि हमने जो केवल इंडस्ट्रीज ही मानी होती ना, केवल बिजनेस ही माना होता, केवल ट्रेड ही माना होता, तो मैंने देखा है उस वक्त में ये व्यवस्था देख रहा था जब फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन लगा था, फर्स्ट वेव दुनिया में कोविड का चल रहा था। किसी को पता नहीं था दुनिया में कि ऐसी बड़ी महामारी सडन आ जाएगी। दुनिया के पास मेडिसिन नहीं थी, देश में लॉकडाउन था। ऐसी स्थिति में दुनिया मोदी जी को कॉल करती थी कि हमें मेडिसिन दो। सभी इंडस्ट्रीज को लॉकडाउन पास दिया, इंडस्ट्रीज को इंडिया में चालू रखा, इंडिया की रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी हुई, और 125 से अधिक कंट्री में हमने मेडिसिन सप्लाई की। उस वक्त पर डे 5 से 7 प्लेन इंडिया में केवल मेडिसिन लेने के लिए आते थे, और हम दुनिया को मेडिसिन सप्लाई करते थे, और उसमें मैं इंडस्ट्रीज को अभिनंदन इसलिए देना चाहता हूँ, और केवल ट्रेड नहीं है, केवल बिजनेस नहीं है, हमने दुनिया की मजबूर परिस्थिति का लाभ नहीं उठाया। हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज ने उससे ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं लिया, इतना ही नहीं, लेकिन उस वक्त कई कंट्री दूसरी कंट्री में अपना एक्सपोर्ट करते थे, लेकिन पुअर क्वालिटी होने से कई बार उसका माल वापस भेजा जाता था। मुझे गौरव है मेरी इंडस्ट्रीज पर, मेरे देश के इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट पर, हिंदुस्तान की एक भी कंपनी का माल, एक भी कंपनी की मेडिसिन कोई कंट्री ने रिजेक्ट नहीं की। हम केवल उसको बिजनेस के साथ नहीं देखते हैं, हम दुनिया की सेवा फार्मेसी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड के द्वारा कर रहे हैं। हील बाय इंडिया, इंडिया के द्वारा स्वस्थ हो, और हील बाय इंडिया हम फार्मेसी के द्वारा भी करते हैं। हील बाय इंडिया, इंडिया के मैन पावर, हमने कंसेप्ट लिया है। इंडिया में ब्रेन पावर और मैन पावर की कभी कमी नहीं थी। ये देश में एक क्षमता कायम से थी और है, लेकिन उसको पहचान के उसके पर काम करने की आवश्यकता थी। मुझे लगता है कि उसमें देरी हो गई। मोदी जी ने देश में डॉक्टर्स, देश के हमारे नर्सिस, हमारे पैरामेडिक स्टाफ, हमारे टेक्नीशियन, हमारे सब हेल्थ में काम करने वाले स्किल मैन पावर के द्वारा हम दुनिया की सेवा कर सकते हैं। जैसा हम फार्मेसी से कर रहे हैं, इस दिशा में भी हमने काम चालू किया है। इतना ही नहीं, आइए इंडिया में और स्वस्थ हो इंडिया में, हील इन इंडिया। आप भारत में आइए, जिसको आप मेडिकल टूरिज्म के नाम से बोलते हैं। दोस्तों, टूरिज्म बाद में है, उसकी स्वास्थ्य अच्छे बने और स्वस्थ होके वो वापस अपने कंट्री में लौटे। और कहाँ स्वस्थ हुए? वो इंडिया में हुए। आइए हील इंडिया के द्वारा हम तीसरी पहलू से हेल्थ सेक्टर में काम करना चाहते हैं। और इस सब सारे पहलू में काम करते वक्त हम चाहते हैं कि हम एक दूसरे को पूरक बन के कैसे काम करें। आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले, इंडिया आत्मनिर्भर बने, आत्मनिर्भर भारत हेल्थ सेक्टर में कैसे बने, फार्मा सेक्टर में कैसे बने, सारे पहलू पर आज काम होना चालू हो गया है। जैसा PLI स्कीम, हमारी फॉर्मुलेशन इंडस्ट्रीज को दिक्कत ना हो, और कैसी ऐसा API है जिसमें हम 80% अबव इंपोर्ट पर डिपेंड करते हैं। ऐसे API को आइडेंटिफाई करके देश में ही उसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो, उसके लिए PLI स्कीम के द्वारा हम काम करना शुरू किया। और मुझे खुशी है, ये PLI स्कीम से 35 से अधिक प्रोडक्शन का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग अभी चालू हो चुका है, और आने वाले दिनों में और इंडस्ट्रीज के द्वारा PLI स्कीम का लाभ लेके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग चालू होगा। उसके बाद हमने सोचा कि अभी हमें दुनिया की मार्केट में हमें हमारा जोश से आगे बढ़ना है, हमें हमारा पग रखना है। विशेष रूप में क्या करना चाहिए? तो फिर 15,000 करोड़ की PLI 2 स्कीम के माध्यम से दुनिया में हम मैक्सिमम से मैक्सिमम हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ाए, और इसलिए हमारी कंपनी को अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले, उसमें क्या गैप रहता है उसको भी आइडेंटिफाई किया। उसमें MSME को भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले, उसका भी ध्यान रखा गया। इस दृष्टि से कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव सोच के साथ हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। ऐसी स्थिति में आने वाले दिनों में 25 साल का लक्ष्य लेके हमें काम करना है। 25 साल में हमारी फार्मा इंडस्ट्रीज को हमें कहाँ लेके जाना है। मुझे विश्वास है आज के दिन में एक ऐसा एटमॉस्फेयर खड़ा हुआ है और एक ऐसा नेतृत्व है जिस नेतृत्व में इंडिया फार्मा सेक्टर में और गोल को अचीव कर सकते हैं। और मैं चाहता हूं कि ऐसे कार्यक्रम के माध्यम से कहाँ गैप रहा, मुझे पता है कि अगले 10 साल में इंडिया की फार्मा इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी है, उसके लिए एक ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन शायद ये कार्यक्रम के बाद ही, इनॉग्रेशन सेशन के बाद ही है। ऐसे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन से ही रास्ता तय होता है। ऐसे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन से ही इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट का क्वेश्चंस का आंसर मिलता है। ऐसे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन से ही ग्लोबल सिनारियो क्या है और ग्लोबल सिनारियो में हम क्या कर सकते हैं उसके पर बातचीत होती है। मुझे विश्वास है कि हम अवश्य आने वाले दिनों में हमारे फार्मा सेक्टर को और एक स्टेप आगे ले जा सकेंगे। और आज के इस कार्यक्रम में विरांची भाई और आप सब लोगों ने मुझे और मेरे ऑफिसर्स को इनवाइट करके एक साझेदारी सुनिश्चित करने का अवसर दिया है। इसलिए मैं ईडमा, उसकी टीम और आप सब लोगों को अभिनंदन देता हूँ। आज ईडमा अपने 60वीं सालगिरह को आयोजित कर रहे हैं, सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं। उस अवसर पर आज 60 साल हुआ है, 100 साल और अनेक वर्ष तक ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन काम करता रहे, एक दूसरे को पूरक बनते रहे, इंडस्ट्रियल कोऑर्डिनेशन करते रहे और आगे बढ़ते रहे। यही शुभेच्छाएं। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। आपने बहुत प्रोत्साहित किया पूरी इंडस्ट्री के कैप्टन्स को यहाँ पे, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। मे आई रिक्वेस्ट आवर प्रेसिडेंट and all our other dignitaries to please join the President in presenting this memento to Honorable Minister as a token of our love, affection and gratefulness to you, sir. Thank you. We have a very important formality today. As a lot of speakers have said, that IDMA is today what its presidents have done, our former presidents. And this is an excellent opportunity for us to honor them. We'll request Honorable Minister, sir, to please honor all our former presidents. Please. I'm just taking an order from whoever is sitting nearby. May I request Mr. Yogen Majumdar to please come on the dais and be honored at the hands of our minister. Mr. B.N. Singh. Mr. N.R. Munjal. Mr. Manish Doshi. Dr. Gopa Kumar Nair. Dr. Dinesh Patel. Mr. Anand Thakur. Anand bhai, please come up. Where's Neha? Where's my Tamil layout? Mr. Deepnath Roy Chaudhary. Mr. C.I. Gandhi, Chandra Bhai, please come. Mr. S.V. Viramani. May I request Dr. George Patani to come up and receive the award on behalf of Dr. Ibrahim Patani. May I request Aditi to please come up and receive the award on behalf of Mr. Suresh Kare. And our immediate past National President, Mr. Mahesh Doshi. We would also like to honor our veterans who have been working for a number of years without holding any office. They are very senior members of IDMA. And I would request Madhusudan Bhai